There's a point where motivation dies. That's the point most people never prepare for. They chase the rush, the hype, the spark. But when the fire fades, they fall back into the same comfort they swore they'd escape. You know that feeling? When the videos stop hitting, the music doesn't move you, and the mirror doesn't lie. That's where the real work begins. That's the battlefield where momentum is built, not found. Because motivation might get you started, but it won't carry you through the darkness. Momentum will. See, momentum doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care about your excuses, your pain, or your comfort. It's built through motion, repetition, and consistency when your mind is screaming for rest. Every day you push past that voice, you feed momentum. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you feed momentum. And once it starts rolling, it becomes a storm. It doesn't stop for anyone. But here's the trap: people think momentum is magic. They think once they get it, it'll stay forever. Wrong. Momentum is alive. It breathes. It starves. And if you stop feeding it, it dies. That's why the best never slow down. They don't celebrate too early. They don't relax after one victory. And they don't wait for another motivational high. They live in the grind. They understand momentum is fragile. It's built in silence and destroyed in seconds. Ask yourself right now, what do you do when the excitement fades? When no one's watching, no one's cheering, and you've got no energy left, what do you do? That's where momentum separates the strong from the weak. The weak look for new inspiration. The strong build their own energy. They've trained their mind to keep moving forward no matter how dry the fire feels. Because they understand momentum is built through action, not emotion. When you're tired, you move anyway. When you're uninspired, you move anyway. When you're broken, you move anyway. Because if you stop, even for a day, that edge you fought for starts to slip away. You can't afford that. You work too hard to earn it. Momentum doesn't care about your feelings. It respects only your motion. It's not about hype. It's about habits. It's about doing what needs to be done long after the mood is gone. That's where transformation happens, in the days that feel empty. When your mind tells you it's pointless, that's when it counts the most. Because momentum grows in the soil of resistance. Every moment you fight against your weakness, you're laying another brick in that unstoppable force. There will be days when you feel invisible, days when progress feels frozen. But those are the days that define you. That's when you build resilience. That's when you create an identity no one can take from you. You don't build momentum when things are easy. You build it when everything inside you says stop, but you don't. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop chasing the feeling. Create movement. Get up, take the next step, and the next, and the next. Even if it's small, even if it's slow. Because once you start rolling, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to trust you. It learns that you keep your word no matter how you feel. That trust turns into momentum. And that momentum becomes your weapon against comfort, against weakness, against everything that tries to pull you back. When the world sleeps, keep moving. When doubt whispers, keep moving. When the road gets long, keep moving. Because momentum isn't built by the loud moments. It's built in silence, in consistency, in relentless forward motion. The storm you're chasing is inside you. Feed it, protect it, never let it die. There's a dangerous lie people tell themselves, that they'll start again tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next month, and before you know it, the fire that once burned inside you turns to smoke. That's how momentum dies, quietly, slowly, without an explosion, just silence. Because every time you pause, every time you say, I'll start again later, you let weakness take one more piece of you. Momentum doesn't wait. It punishes hesitation. You have to understand something. Motivation fades, but momentum is earned through repetition. It's not about the perfect plan or the right timing. It's about refusing to stop. It's about stacking small wins when nobody's clapping. It's about grinding in the dark when your body aches and your mind screams for rest. Every rep, every early morning, every late night. They're not just actions, they're deposits. You're feeding a force that, once strong enough, can tear through anything in your path. But most people never reach that point because they never stay consistent long enough to taste it. They quit too early. They listen to that soft voice telling them it's okay to rest. that they've earned it, that no one's watching anyway. That's how you lose. Not because someone beat you, but because you let yourself stop. You gave permission for average to return. Momentum doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't negotiate. It only moves for those who move. You can't fake it. You can't buy it. You can't borrow someone else's discipline. You have to build your own, piece by piece, day by day. When you're sore, you go again. When you're tired, you go again. Because momentum grows stronger when you defy your comfort. Every day you push through pain, you prove something to yourself. That you're not driven by emotion, you're driven by commitment. That's the difference between someone who starts strong and someone who finishes unstoppable. Anyone can work hard for a week. Anyone can post their progress when it's new. But few can wake up after failure, after rejection, after endless quiet, and still go again. That's what separates the elite from everyone else. They build momentum out of chaos. There's a rhythm to this grind. A rhythm that begins when you stop thinking and start doing. When you stop questioning your worth and prove it through action. Momentum is born in those tiny, unglamorous decisions. Choosing the cold shower, taking the extra rep, doing one more mile when your legs feel dead. That's how you train your mind to move on autopilot toward growth. You don't think about it anymore. You just go. And that's the goal. You want your discipline to be so strong that it doesn't ask permission from your emotions. You want momentum to carry you through storms so fierce that anyone else would break. But you'll keep moving because you've learned how to survive without motivation. You've built something inside that doesn't fade when life gets heavy. You see, momentum is more than energy. It's identity. It's who you become when you've endured enough pain to stop fearing it. When you've suffered long enough to respect the grind. When you've learned that nothing changes until you stop quitting on yourself. You start realizing that the hard days are the ones that push you further. The days that try to break you are the days that shape you. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't look for motivation. Look for discipline. Look for that internal switch that tells you it's time to move. Don't let the world decide your pace. Don't let your emotions dictate your consistency. Move because you said you would. Move because the version of you that gave up yesterday doesn't deserve to win today. Momentum is your weapon, but only if you keep it sharp. Keep swinging. Keep moving. Keep earning. Because every day you move, you build a force that can't be stopped. And the moment you stop, that force turns on you. Don't let it fade. Feed it with action, fuel it with consistency, and watch how unstoppable you become. Momentum isn't a gift. It's a fight. You don't stumble into it. You bleed for it. You sacrifice for it. You earn it through the kind of consistency most people will never understand. Everyone wants to feel unstoppable, but nobody wants to do what it takes to stay that way when the pain hits, when the world stops clapping, when there's no spotlight to feed your ego. That's the point where momentum separates the committed from the curious. You want to be unstoppable. Then stop starting over. Stop giving up every time life hits you harder than you expected. Because it's not about how motivated you were when you began. It's about what you do when everything collapses. The truth is, momentum is built from chaos. Every setback, every failure, every sleepless night, that's where the real growth hides. You don't lose momentum when you fall. You lose it when you stop getting back up. The mind is a tricky machine. It loves the idea of change, but it hates the process of it. It wants comfort dressed as progress. That's why you sabotage yourself the moment it gets uncomfortable. You tell yourself you're tired. You tell yourself you've done enough. But deep down, you know that's not true. You know there's more in you. The voice of weakness will always try to pull you back to who you used to be. That's where you fight. That's where momentum is forged. In the moments when nobody would blame you for quitting, but you don't. Every morning you wake up, you have two choices. Feed your progress or feed your past. There is no in between. Every excuse you make, every day you skip, every promise you break, you're feeding your old self, the one you swore you'd destroy. Momentum demands loyalty. It doesn't care about how hard it gets. It only cares about whether you show up. And when you do, when you keep showing up no matter what, something happens. You stop needing to push yourself. You start becoming pulled forward by a force you created through consistency. That's momentum at its peak. When the effort becomes automatic, when you move forward because standing still feels wrong, that's when you've crossed the line from wanting change to living it. But the danger doesn't end there. The moment you think you've made it, momentum starts to fade. Comfort creeps back in like a shadow. That's why the strong never celebrate too long. They know the mountain doesn't care how many times you've climbed it. It demands your respect every time you face it. The second you lose that hunger, you slide back down. You've got to wake up hungry every single day. You've got to fight like you've got nothing, even when you've already won something. Because the truth is, momentum doesn't live in success. It lives in struggle. The moment you stop struggling, you start losing it. So keep the pressure on yourself. Stay uncomfortable. Stay restless. Keep chasing the next edge, the next wall, the next challenge. When your body wants to stop, let your mind take over. When your mind starts to weaken, let your purpose take over. Because purpose is what sustains momentum when everything else fades. You're not doing this for applause. You're not doing it for validation. You're doing it because you made a promise to yourself that you won't live like everyone else. You'll outwork, outlast, and outfight every excuse that dares to slow you down. There's no finish line for someone who's chosen growth as a lifestyle. Every level you reach just exposes another level you haven't touched yet. So stop waiting for the easy days. Stop craving the perfect conditions. They'll never come. The grind is the condition. The pain is the process. The discipline is the reward. Momentum is the heartbeat of warriors. It's that rhythm that says, I'm not done yet. It's the energy that comes from knowing you're still moving when everyone else has stopped. That's where you find your power. That's where you build your identity. So keep moving, even when it hurts. Keep moving, even when it feels like you're going nowhere. Because as long as you're moving, you're winning. Momentum is not just about movement. It's about becoming a force that refuses to slow down. It's about turning discipline into instinct. When you've been in the fight long enough, when you've trained your body and mind to keep moving through exhaustion, you stop chasing momentum. You become it. You become that storm that no one can predict, no one can stop, and no one can outlast. But to get there, you have to live a life most people will never understand. You have to walk through pain so deep it becomes your fuel. See, most people live life like it's a race, sprinting at the start, slowing down halfway, and quitting before the finish. But momentum isn't built from bursts. It's built from staying. Staying when it's boring. Staying when it's painful. Staying when it feels like nothing's working. Momentum is loyalty to the grind. It's waking up every day and saying, I don't care how I feel. I'm showing up anyway. That's the difference between people who talk about greatness and those who live it. You'll be tested. Life will try to strip that fire from you piece by piece. It'll come for your patience, your belief, your confidence. It'll whisper that you're done, that you've gone as far as you can. But momentum doesn't listen to doubt. It's deaf to fear. It thrives on resistance because the harder it gets, the stronger you become. If you don't stop, that's the key. Never stop. Never let a bad day turn into a bad week. Never let one failure convince you that it's over. That's how you protect momentum, by refusing to pause when it hurts the most. You have to understand the path to greatness is not a straight line. It's a cycle of rise, fall, and rebuild. Every time you fall, you're being given a chance to prove how bad you want it. That's the hidden purpose of pain. It's a test. It's asking, do you still want this when it's not fun anymore? When nobody's watching? When it feels impossible? Your answer can't be words. It has to be action. Keep moving even if it's just 1 inch forward, because 1 inch is still progress, and progress builds momentum. There will come a time when you look back and realize that the hardest seasons of your life were the ones that built your power. The sleepless nights, the failures, the isolation. Those moments didn't break you. They refined you. They carved out the weakness and left only the truth. And that truth is this: you don't need motivation anymore. You've evolved beyond it. You've built something far greater. An engine that doesn't stop when it's tired. An identity that doesn't depend on emotion. You've become unstoppable because you've learned to move without permission. That's what sustaining unstoppable momentum is about. It's not about hype. It's not about getting pumped up for a few days and burning out. It's about building a rhythm inside your soul that never breaks. You've got to live like every second counts. You've got to move like time is running out, because it is. Every moment you waste is a moment you'll never get back. So don't wait for the perfect day, the perfect mindset, or the perfect opportunity. Move now, act now, build now. The world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the most consistent, the ones who stay in motion when everyone else slows down, the ones who refuse to quit when progress feels invisible, the ones who keep stacking small wins until the weight of their effort becomes undeniable. That's how unstoppable momentum is born, through relentless motion, forged in silence, fueled by purpose. And when you get there, when you've built that force inside you, protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Momentum will carry you through storms that would destroy anyone else. It will keep you moving when logic says stop. It will push you when nothing else can. But only if you never betray it. Stay loyal to your habits. Stay loyal to your mission. Stay loyal to your discipline. This is how you rise. This is how you break every wall that stands in your way. You move when it hurts. You move when you're tired. You move when you don't feel like it. Because that's the code of the unstoppable. They never wait for the world to give them energy. They create their own. They don't chase momentum. They embody it. You've got everything you need inside you right now. The power, the drive, the hunger. It's all there. You just have to use it. So stop talking about change. Stop waiting for the right moment. You are the moment. You are the movement. You are the momentum. Keep moving forward. Always.